Tonight, the Mariners nearly threw hands with the Astros. Julio did something that's never been done before in Major League Baseball history. And most importantly, Seattle absolutely ripped out Houston's soul in front of a silent crowd at Minute Maid Park. You love to see it. This is the Locked On Mariners postgame show. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Saturday, August 19th, 2023. This is Trident Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners postgame show, brought to you by Sleeper. Swing for the fences on Sleeper picks, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Download the Sleeper app and use promo code Locked On. That's LOCKDON. And you'll get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. Subscribe, like, and turn on alerts if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe and leave a 5-star review on your preferred podcast platform if you like what you hear. And if you're part of the crew and rock with us every single day, let us know in the comments below. And if you want to hear from us even more, please consider signing up for our Patreon. You can now get a free 7-day trial to check out the show. The link, as well as our social accounts, is in the description of this episode. 10-3, the final score from Minute Maid Park. Mariners dog walk the Astros to take both this weekend series and the season series against Houston. First time they've done that since 2018. And a lot happened in this game, Colby. Where do you want to start?
Oh, man. Probably Dylan Moore's 2 home runs, because that seems
dude
like
Demo owns the Houston Astros. Dylan Moore owns the Houston Astros. Actually, that is a good place to start, because after his first home run, Framber Valdez, who was not Framber Valdez tonight, threw at Jose Caballero on the very next pitch, and tempers flared.
Poor Framber got his feelings hurt. Aw.
What, the fourth time these two teams have cleared the benches, and yet no punches thrown once again. So I know you've got thoughts on this. I know you've got some things to say about Martin Maldonado and Dusty Baker. Just remember,
loser, geriatric.
Keep it PG. Keep it
Dusty
PG.
was looking to throw hands. They showed him yelling, and it's like, what?
Yeah, he was like pointing at someone.
Yeah. What are you
Caballero,
doing,
I guess.
Like, Scott Service will dust you like Thanos. Okay, like, you are 83 years old and you are hobbling around with, basically, you might as well just take a rascal scooter out to the mound to make your pitching changes. And you think that you're going to get in the face of Scott Service and that's going to work out for you? Scott is 30 years your junior. Is like, I mean, come on, dude. Dusty, just go sit down. It's fine. Okay. You've been handed the reins of an incredibly good baseball team. Just sit there in the dugout and let them do their thing. You clearly don't have any control over these guys anyways, because yet again, it's your guys throwing at the Mariners, as it always is. I know that there are Houston fans who are watching. Well, they're probably watching, but they're not going to say anything in the comments because they're cowards. But yeah, I know that they say Scott starts all of this. Scott starts all of this. What did Scott Service do? What did Dylan Moore do besides knock the crap out of a baseball against Framber Valdez? Nothing. You got beat, Houston. You got beat. And what did we say back in April, Ty? You remember the conversation we had? Nobody is afraid of you anymore. But you know what? You're sure as heck afraid of the Seattle Mariners. You know how I know it? Because every single time we come to your place, there's a pitch thrown at somebody. You're trying to send a message. You're trying to be the tough guy. And what did Jose Caballero do? What was his crime? He asked for a timeout with 10 seconds left on the pitch clock. Get out of here, you weak-willed, soft as anything. You're soft. You're a soft baseball team. And the Seattle Mariners came into town.
Thank you for keeping it clean.
Yeah, they came into town. They boat raced you. You had your best guy going today. Your best guy. And it wasn't even a ball game after, like, what, the 5th?
Yeah.
You got destroyed. And here's the deal. Julio, 4 hits. Okay. You lose to Julio, whatever. You got boat raced by Jose Caballero, Dylan Moore, and Sam Haggerty. Get out of here. How are you gonna pound your chest? Like, we're Houston. We're not afraid of you. And then you're taking shots at Jose Caballero. You soft as cotton little losers. How dare you sit there and pound your chest like, oh, look at us. We're not afraid of you. We're absolutely not afraid of you. But we're going to yell at you from the back of the line here because, we're going to take shots at you, but you're not going to take shots at us because we take them first. Therefore, you can't retaliate, just like, soft little teams do. So, yeah, if Dusty wants to throw hands, I will take every single Mariner against Dusty individually. I'll tell you what, blindfold Scott Service, he's still going to Thanos Dusty Baker. All right. Dusty can waddle his little butt back to the dugout, sit on his bucket, pretend he's a baseball player still, and shut up. You have gotten boat raced by Scott Service this year. He has managed circles around you. His team is tougher. They are faster. They are stronger. They are better than you. And you don't like it because you know what happens? Bullies don't like it when you punch them in the mouth. And the Mariners have not only punched the Astros in the mouth this year, they've held them down and just wailed on them over and over and over again, like an MMA fighter. If this was a boxing match, they would stop the fight because the Mariners are routing the Astros this year. Yep. It's done for you. This is your last shot. You know what? If you're a Houston fan, if you win the World Series this year, congratulations. This is your shot. After this, it's over. Texas has passed you. The Mariners are passing you. Like, it's done for you. You're done. You made this desperate trade to go get Justin Verlander because you're idiots and you think he's going to help you win the World Series. You're not. At best, Houston's the third best team in the American League right now. At best. And you didn't even get good Logan Gilbert. It's not like Gilbert just shoved against you. Gilbert was mediocre at best, and you could only get 2 runs off of him. What are you doing? You guys are a joke.
One of which was like a Mickey Mouse home run.
Of course they would, because that's a Mickey Mouse ballpark. Bunch of losers. So yeah, fan base, you're trash. Your manager is trash. Your catcher is trash. And guess what? You just lost to the Seattle Mariners again.
For the second time. And just lost the season series against the Seattle Mariners. And when Framber threw at Cabby, that was the Astros admitting defeat. The game was over at that point. Game was over. It was 6-2. They threw at Cabby. Their soul had been ripped out of their body by the Seattle Mariners. Yeah. This game ruled. I loved every moment of this game. It was awesome. Yeah, the Astros are absolute chumps. Their fans are absolute chumps. Not just the ones on Twitter, but even booing Caballero his next time coming up. What did Jose Caballero do? What did he do? He got hit by your pitcher. Your pitcher threw at him. Your pitcher threw at him.
Your ace pitcher, like a 27-year-old rookie who's hitting like 230, lives rent-free in the head of every single Houston Astros player and fan. Yeah. Jose Caballero lives rent-free in your head.
Yeah.
Weak. You're weak. You're soft. You're pathetic. Get off the field. There's a good baseball team on the field tonight. It wasn't the Houston Astros. Deal with it. You guys lost the season series. You're clearly in the decline. Your manager is, I can't say what I want to say because we're a PG show, but your manager is
Patreon.com/control the zone if you want to hear the uncensored version.
Your manager is a fake tough guy who thinks he's going to brawl and duke it out with who? Eugenio Suarez. Caballero would have you on your butt before you even knew what hit you, old timer. Go wear your little surgical gloves, go sit on your bucket and shut up. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. You're nothing. You're irrelevant. And all this, Dusty, isn't he the greatest? Dusty, isn't he the greatest? No, he's not. He's not. He's not. He's a bad manager who's been handed the reins to a great baseball team. Ooh, fantastic. I could manage the Houston Astros to a World Series title. The fact that Dusty did it is not impressive. And the fact that he thinks he can throw hands with Scott Service, get out of here. Go find the retirement home. Go find a nice bench to feed your pigeons. Okay, it's over for you. This game's over. Like I said, this was a fight. They would have stopped it. It's done. Yeah. Nobody's afraid of you. Nobody. Certainly not the Seattle Mariners.
Astros fans have called this matchup, a big brother, little brother for the last few years. And sure, that's probably fair. But little brother just grew into a 6'5" monster and just put you in a headlock and is giving you a noogie right now. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's over. It's over. The Mariners, look, the standings say otherwise for now, but it's still mid-August. But the Mariners have surpassed the Astros.
Here's what it is.
I don't fear them. I don't fear them anymore. I look at that lineup. Even if Kyle Tucker was in this lineup, Are they winning either of these games? Maybe last night because it was only 2-0, but not tonight. Kyle Tucker's not making a difference in tonight's game.
No.
So we can't use that as an excuse here, right?
If you want
the last couple series
game,
against them.
Sorry, if you want to play that game,
Go
JP
ahead.
Crawford's not in the lineup tonight either. You're not facing
Right.
Luis Castillo or George Kirby in the series either. We could play this game back and forth all you want.
Yeah,
But the
right.
fact of the
You know,
matter
we
is-
could talk about
Go
we could talk about the last couple series. You know, Altuve was out. You know, Jordan missed a couple of those games. Whatever. That's fine. But we can't use this as an excuse anymore. The Astros are pretty much at full strength. Yeah, they were missing Kyle Tucker, but still, for all the reasons that you just mentioned, no JP, you know, no Tom Murphy, no Jared Kelenic. You don't see Castillo or Kirby in this series. Like, both sides are not at essentially full strength in the series. It pretty much evens out. And honestly, the Mariners are a bit more banged up and just missing guys overall than the Astros in the series. You can't use this as an excuse anymore. The Mariners are just flat out a better ball club than the Houston Astros right now. And I don't think that's really even going out on a limb to say that. I think it's pretty clear. When you see these two teams matched up on the field right now, it's night and day.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most charitable I can be to the Astros right now is that these are two evenly matched teams, which again, the record says otherwise, but Seattle is ascending, whereas Houston is going downhill. I think that's like as far as I'm willing to go over like who's the better team. Well, maybe it's a draw, but Seattle is going up. Houston is coming down off their high.
The Astros are still really good. Like, give credit where credit is due. Astros are still a really good team. They're not a juggernaut anymore. I'm not terrified of them.
Nope.
I don't fear them. I think the Mariners are better. When the Mariners and the Astros square off, I expect the Mariners to win. And this series, these first two games have really solidified that for me. You know, because I was still on the fence heading into the series. Like we talked about yesterday before game one. Like you look at the pitching matchups, like, I don't know. You know, they got Jordan, they got Altuve, you know, this could get bad, right? But now after seeing these two games, it's clear to me. I've seen the light. The Mariners are just definitively better than the Astros now. And I think once we get to the finish line here, the standings will more so reflect that. So, yeah. Let's talk about Julio, because Julio obviously set some major league history tonight. We're going to go over that in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners postgame show is brought to you by Sleeper. Want the chance to win more money with less picks? Head on over to Sleeper, where you can win up to 100 times your money on just 2 or more fantasy baseball picks. Head to Sleeper and swing for the fences with up to 100 times payouts. All you have to do is choose 2 or more players that you like and select more or less on their stats like home runs, strikeouts, hits, and more. Get your picks right and you can win big. Making your picks is easy and takes only 30 seconds or less. And if you win, you can withdraw your payouts safe and quickly. Use promo code LOCKEDON, that's LOCKDON. You'll get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners postgame show. Thank you again for making us your first listen after the Mariners 10-3 spanking of the Houston Astros tonight at Minute Maid Park. You can catch the series finale tomorrow on the Mariners hometown broadcast with SiriusXM via the SXM app. And while the Mariners are catching the Astros in the American League West and American League wildcard standings, we're trying to catch Locked On Astros as the #1 most subscribed to YouTube channel in the Locked On MLB network. We're a little under 300 subscribers away. So if you want to continue rubbing this in the face of the Astros and their fan base, help us get past them. We'd greatly appreciate it. Just hit that subscribe button right below our faces. So Julio Rodriguez is on another planet right now. He is so good right now. He is doing things that we have never seen before. Tonight, he became the first player in Major League history. That's 100+ years of baseball being played. First player in Major League history to record 17 hits in 4 consecutive games. He also recorded his 4th consecutive 4-hit game, which ties the Major League record. So he'll go for the Major League record tomorrow. We could be talking about even more Major League history for Julio. So, I mean, what else can you say about this guy right now, Colby?
Well, obviously he's dialed in, but there are some fun numbers here that just kind of speak to how big of a heater this is for Julio. And look, as the resident Julio hater, apparently he's going to have a game somewhere in the next few days where he's going to go 1 for 3 with a walk. Like that's going to happen, sure. But
I mean, he
think about-
struck out, so Julio Rodriguez,
Yeah,
obviously.
sure. Struck out twice, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did.
So here comes the downfall. But so here we go. Over the last 4 days. So before he went on the 4-game hit streak, whatever. He went from since then he's gone from 256 to 278. His on base has jumped from 319 to 337. His slugging has jumped from 432 to 463. His WRC plus has gone from 111 to 125. And here's the big one. His F4 has gone from 3.7 to 4.8 in 4 days. It's August, by the way.
He's been worth 1.1 wins
in the last 4 days, apparently.
I mean, I get he's been amazing, but still, I don't think I've ever seen that. Which again, we've never seen a guy get 17 hits in 4 days. So
yeah, I mean, 17 for 22, 2 homers, 8 RBI, 5 stolen bases. Also would have had a 6th if not for the hitter's interference.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. Here's also another fun note. This comes from Ben Ranieri. Julio Rodriguez has the same number of hits by himself the last 4 days as the New York Yankees have in their last 4 games combined. He's also scored more runs by himself than the Yankees have in their last 4 games. So,
wow.
I mean, that probably says more about the Yankees offense, but any way you want to slice it, Julio's just on another planet today. I think my favorite at bat was, I think it was against Neris late. He had a fastball that was running in on him, and it was about 2.5, 3 inches off the inside corner. And not only was Julio still able to pull it, and this is like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, he's able to get his hands through fast enough, and he was able to keep it fair down the line. That is a really impressive piece of it. It's really hard to even get to that pitch. It's extremely hard to keep it fair. And Julio did it. And it was one of his least impressive like exit velo hits over the last 4 days. And it was one of the most impressive for me because, we saw it on the big home run he had in Kansas City, right? We've seen teams attack him inside with velocity. That is how you've gotten Julio. And Julio has rolled over to the shortstop. He's fouled it off. When he has gotten a hit on those pitches, he kind of flares it into right field. He's squaring those pitches up right now. And his biggest hole is now kind of, his greatest strength. So teams have to try and figure out how to pitch him now again differently. And they have to do it in August in the middle of a pennant race. So Julio's on another planet right now. It's funny. We talked about him. He's on his way to another 5-win season. We thought he would get there by the end of the year. He might be there by tomorrow.
He's on his way to his 6+ win season now. Like the last 4 days have changed the trajectory of his season entirely.
Right. He's probably, look, one thing we need to warn about is that like at some point Julio's probably going to have like a 1 for 17.
Here comes the wet blanket. Here it comes.
No, let's just acknowledge reality. Julio is not going to hit 850 for the rest of the year. Okay. He's going to have like a 1 for 17. He's going to have like, a 3 for 23 or something like that. He's going to have that happen to him because every hitter in the history of baseball has. Or
maybe he's Barry Bonds now.
Even Barry Bonds, I'm sure, had a 1 for 23 stretch. But the thing with Julio is that right now he's getting MVP votes, and I'm not talking about like 9th, 10th, 11th place votes. He's getting top 5 in the most valuable player race as things stand right now. So obviously Shohei's going to win that award, as he should. It's really not a contest, but Julio finishing in the top 5 does start to trigger those extra years. So keep that in mind. If Julio does finish top 5 in MVP, I think he has to do it 3 times. And the major bonus or the major extension kicks in automatically. So keep that in mind. But Julio playing out of his mind right now. He's 22 years old. He's 22 years old, and he is, one of the 5 best players in the American League. I can't think of anybody who would disagree with that. So yeah, Julio just on another planet right now. And it's so much fun to watch. His at bats are now appointment TV. And he didn't even he had 4 singles today. Like, it's not like he's just like dropping bombs every other at bat or anything. He's just using the whole field, hitting the ball hard every single time out.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to watch because it's, he's always capable of dropping that 450-foot bomb on you, but he's also right now, he'll take the fastball that's, 3 inches off the outside corner and he'll hit it with authority to right field. He's just so locked in right now, and you hope it continues for as long as possible because, well, this is not sustainable. If you're going to catch Texas, if you're going to catch Houston, which, by the way, now all you have to do is catch Houston because you have the tiebreaker. If you're going to do those things, Julio has to be really good for the rest of the year. You run out of adjectives to describe what Julio's doing right now. It's out of this world.
Yeah. Don't look now, but the Mariners are 4 games out of first place in the American League West. The Rangers, thanks to Carlos Santana, the last 2 nights have lost. Yeah, Carlos Santana has been on
build the statue
on another planet as well. Yeah. I think he had a 3-run home run tonight or a solo home run or something like that, and then he had a 3-run home run last night as well. He's hit a couple of home runs in the series. That's what's important here. The Julio contract, I looked it up. This is really too complicated to get into. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. So if you're interested in seeing how all the qualifiers are handled, go to spottrack.com and look up Julio's contract on there if you're interested in it. But like you said, what's really impressive about this is that he's just doing it in a plethora of ways, right? It's not just singles, it's it's home runs, it's doubles, it's obviously some infield singles where he's beating out the throw. It's awesome. It's just great baseball. And again, on top of that, the elite defense, the stolen bases. I mean, Julio's doing it all right now. He's doing something that just we don't see Major League Baseball players do, even at the highest of levels.
Yeah, but he's slowly sneaking up on 40 steals. At the rate he's getting on base, he will be at 40 steals by September 1.
What's he at right now? 34?
33. He would be 34.
33.
But yeah. So
right. Yeah.
It's just, it's so insane, man. It's literally insane. By the way, not to be overshadowed here, but that's naturally going to happen when somebody goes 17 for 22 in a 4-game stretch. You're going to get out.
Are you mentioning Teo?
Yes. Yeah. But Teoscar is, if not for it just Julio is so hot right now that the on another planet tag can't be applied to anybody ever again.
Yeah.
Because I would say, in a normal setting, Teo's out of his mind right now. He's, he's playing on another planet right now, but compared to Julio, Teo's a bum. So it's just one of those things. Man, he had 3 more hits tonight, I believe, right?
Yeah. Teo is like Michael Scott after going to Sandals. He's feeling hot. Feeling hot. Yeah,
you're a real
he's been great.
Those drums.
Yeah. I messed up. But Teo's been great. I mean, Cade Marlowe with another impressive hit against the lefty, the RBI triple to make it 2-0 early on in this game. I think the Mariners had something like 8 hard hit balls off of Framber in the first 3 innings. Demo's home run is the first time they've hit a home run off of Framber in his career. I think it was 277 at bats or 277 plate appearances or something like that. I saw on Twitter. That's crazy. Again, we're going back to the whole Mariners Astros rivalry. We're starting to see the cracks in the dominance of the Astros against the Mariners, right? And I mean, again, the Mariners have won the season series, so I think that's over for now. But still, some of the things where again, Framber's been so dominant against them, not tonight, right? Just overall, how dominant this team has been against the Mariners, not this year, right? And so, and it's we talked about in in spring training, right? Like I felt very confident that this team was better than the Astros heading into the season. And it didn't look like that at first. I mean, it looked like that when they played against one another. But again, Astros not at full strength during those games. But now I think we're really starting to see that come to fruition. So it's awesome, man. It's awesome. And I really like with the way that this team is playing and the way that Julio is playing right now. I think they have a legit shot at making a run at this division. You know, obviously they're going to need some help here. You know, the Rangers are still very good and they're playing better ball since the deadline. But I think they can do this. I really do. You know, things are going to get a lot tougher in September, especially after this. You know, easy part of the schedule, right? With the White Sox and the Royals, etc. Yeah, and obviously they have all those games at the end of the season against both Texas and Houston where they can basically take care of business themselves. Right? They don't need a whole lot to happen outside of them as long as they just keep on winning. And really all you need to do, again, it's very simple. Just keep on winning series. You don't need to go on a long extended win streak. You know, that would be great. Don't get me wrong. And you're on a little bit of one right now. You know, you're getting one started right now, but just keep on winning series. You do that, I think you can do anything that you set your mind to the rest of the regular season. So yeah, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll see how tomorrow goes. You know, obviously not a great pitching matchup for the Mariners, not a favorable pitching matchup on paper, but
neither was
so
today.
far, I mean, this pitching staff, but so far this pitching staff has really come through. I mean, you know, Gilbert didn't have his best stuff today, obviously, but only gave up 2 runs. Bryce Miller was great last night. And this bullpen is holding up. Not a great start to the Edward Bizardo era in Seattle, but we'll let that go. It was fine.
Things down the middle of the plate. Like let's go.
Yeah. But Ryder Ryan really had to die for that. Really. Bring back.
Yeah, I think I'd probably trust
Justice
Ryder
for
Ryan
Ryder
more. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people look at the box score today, by the way, of Logan Gilbert and be like, oh, he was incredible. No, I would disagree.
No,
he was fine. He was good enough. Like, but
Mhm.
pitching with a 4-run lead and then pitching with, like it just, he was fine. It's like Emerson Hancock's first start, right? Fine. Like it's totally fine. And it's fine to be fine.
Yeah.
But this idea that
Yeah,
Gilbert was out there just like carving up. No, Gilbert had a good slider today. He had a terrible fastball. Just really no command of that fastball. And that was it. Like it was just a slider. And we saw what Gilbert can do with a slider when he gets to be really aggressive in the strike zone with it. But fastball velocity, it wasn't a velo problem. It was just a command problem. He was just a little bit off. So I don't think it's anything that is concerning, but I would say it's the second outing in a row where Logan's been mediocre. Like, so we'll see.
Yeah. I said, didn't have his best stuff tonight, but he battled. He got through it. He gave you 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, a big part of that is that they were able to add a couple insurance runs in the 5th, but he was totally fine. And at the end of the day, results are what matter, but don't box score scout starting pitching because Gilbert was only okay. Bryce Miller was significantly better than Gilbert, regardless. I mean, obviously the box score says he was, but just watching it, Miller was in more command. Gilbert kind of fighting himself a little bit. He's just a little bit off. I think his next outing will be a lot better. He was certainly closer to himself today than he was in his last outing, but I think it was a little bit off. And aside from, again, the Miller outing yesterday, Mariners starters kind of going through a little bit of a hiccup turn through the rotation. But hey, you know what? Offense, picking them up for a change. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to watch Mariner baseball games right now. Nerve-wracking, but fun.
And also, very important here. Yordan Alvarez has been a non-factor in this series so far. 1 for 7, just a single. I know, don't tempt fate here. Tomorrow
we got the series
could be a
on
much
wrap.
different
It's
story.
fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But
tomorrow's house money.
But I mean, that's obviously a big part of this too, especially with yesterday. The close game. Yordan obviously came up in the 9th. He had a chance to tie it with one swing of the bat. They end up limiting him to just a single, ball that Cabby kind of misplayed. Maybe he had a chance to throw Yordan out, but whatever. This team doesn't miss JP Crawford. And hey, by the way, great news. JP Crawford cleared and he is playing tonight in Everett.
Pizza
Maybe they
rehab,
get him on a
baby.
plane to Houston tonight. Yeah, maybe they get him on a plane to Houston tonight, but I would think probably he's going to Chicago.
He'll meet the
instead.
team in Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, we did get news real fast. Brian Wu is going to rejoin the rotation in Chicago as well. So Mariners getting healthier. They haven't announced plans for where Wu will slot in, who they'll push back, who they won't, all that stuff. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll talk about that on Monday if we don't do a post-game show tomorrow, which I don't know if we are or not. So
we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. But if they lose, probably not. If they win and they sweep the Astros, oh boy. Oh boy. Things could get interesting. But
and if you thought we were talking you know what on this show, just wait until
Emerson Hancock is the one that does it to him too. I will temporarily swap sides. I will temporarily swap sides and pound my chest.
No, you're not free. No, I'm raking you over the coals if Emerson shoves tomorrow.
And you think I'm going to care about that?
I'll make you care.
I doubt it. You're not as good at that as I am, Ty. You don't play the chess grandmaster
maybe
when you've only mastered checkers.
Please, Emerson, shove tomorrow, please.
Well, hold on, real fast before we go. Would you rather Hancock shove like 7 innings, 2 runs, but the Mariners lose 2-1, or would you rather he get blown up, but the offense bails him out and the Mariners win like 8-7?
Are you asking me if I would rather be right or have the Mariners win?
Yes. Because people ask me that all the time, and it's a ridiculous question. So I'll just put it to you, Ty.
I would rather the Mariners win, obviously, because that's what's most important here, right, guys? Not me being right. The Mariners. The Mariners are the star of the show, not us. The Mariners.
They're the facilitator.
That's gonna do it. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners post-game show for Colby Patnode. I'm Trident Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Dane Gonzalez. That's TANEGNZLZ, and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well over at Locked On Mariners. That's one word, Locked On Mariners. You can also find all that stuff in the description of this episode. Again, you can catch the Mariners and the Astros tomorrow for the series finale on the Mariners hometown broadcast with SiriusXM via the SXM app. And since I need to mention that 3 times on the show, again, you can catch the Mariners and the Astros on the Mariners hometown broadcast tomorrow with SiriusXM via the SXM app. Thank you again for making us your first listen after the Mariners 10-3 victory over the Houston Astros. Have yourself a beautiful baseball evening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
I love beating those soft loops.